Welcome and welcome back, everybody, to the OK Grognard Show. Today is Monday, October 17th, 2022, 10 a.m. Central in beautiful Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. And we are continuing with our look at the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons First Edition Dungeon Master's Guide section on magic items. This has been a long one. We just finished last week looking at the first table of 5 of miscellaneous magic items, and we're going to do a little look into descriptions this week of that table. We'll go back and forth between the tables and the descriptions so that we're not just plowing through with all of one or the other. And let's see, to that end, let me get my screen set up here so I can have a good look and know what I'm sharing. There it is. Miscellaneous magic items. Descriptions. 1. Alchemy Jug. This magical device can pour forth varying liquids upon command. The quantity of each liquid is dependent upon the liquid itself. The jug can pour only one kind of liquid on any given day. 7 pourings maximum. The liquids pourable in quantity per pouring are salt water, 16 gallons. That's a lot. Fresh water, 8 gallons. Beer, 4 gallons. That's a lot. Vinegar, 2 gallons. Wine, 1 gallon. Ammonia, 1 quart. Oil, 1 pint. Agua Regia, 2 gills. That's 8 ounces. Alcohol, 1 gill. That's 4 ounces. Chlorine, 8 drams. That's 1 ounce. And cyanide, 4 drams, half an ounce. The jug will pour forth 2 gallons per round, so it will require 8 rounds to complete 1 pouring of salt water. 7 pourings maximum. The jug can only pour only one kind of liquid on any given day, 7 pourings maximum. You know, I recall this confusing me back in the day, and it still does, right? The jug can pour only one kind of liquid on any given day. 7 pouring maximum. So by restricting the kind, is it saying you can do 7 pourings of that one kind in that given day? Or is it saying it will only ever do 7 pourings and only one kind per day? So 7 days in a row you could pour forth one each of 7 different kinds of things, or the same thing 7 times, and then it no longer works? Or does it continue to work upon command, as it says, but it can do, let's say the first day I want to do salt water. Well, I could do that 7 times this day, and only that in those 7 times. And then the next day I want to do beer. I can do 4 gallons. 7 times I can do it in that 24-hour period, but only beer in the rest of that 24-hour period. That seems the more generous of the options, but the semantics on this are kind of iffy, and you could go either way. You could make a case that it could go either way. I'm of a mind that it's not limited to just 7 times forever, but rather can do 7 a day, but only one kind each day for as many different times as you command it. Anyway, I was thinking that was kind of an interesting point to make on the editing choices there. Amulet of inescapable location. This device is typically worn on a chain or as a brooch, which pins on. It appears to be an amulet which prevents location, scrying, crystal ball, viewing, and the like, or detection influenced by ESP, telepathy. Actually, the amulet doubles the likelihood and or range of these location and detection modes, however. Normal determination attempts, including detect magic, will not reveal its true nature. Normal attempts. So, obviously, you can use some divination spells, and with the right kind of wording and guessing, you can figure out what it is. Um, Perhaps if you really wanted to go that far, a wish might help you out. So, I think the object here, it doesn't say it's cursed or you can't get rid of it. But if you're wearing this and things are searching for you by magical means, ESP, scrying, whatever, and they keep finding you, it is possible you could think, well, it's just been bad luck, bad dice rolls that have left me easily found time after time after time. But you might catch on after it happens a lot. And obviously, if you think it is an amulet that is supposed to help you stay hidden and you keep getting caught, you're going to be suspicious, right? So probably that's going to come up at some point. Amulet of Life Protection. This pendant or brooch device serves as a ward for the psyche. Soul, parenthetically, is the connection he's making there. The wearer cannot be possessed by magic jar spell or any similar mental attack, including demonic or diabolic means. If the wearer is slain, the psyche enters the amulet and is protected for 7 full days. Thereafter, it goes to the plane of its alignment. However, so that however on the end of some sentences is unnecessary. If the amulet is destroyed during the 7 days, the psyche is utterly and irrevocably annihilated. Note, sonic attack modes, sonic blast, or psychic crush will not harm the wearer. Alright, so you hide your soul in an amulet. Seems a little lich-like in a way, but, whatever protects you from certain attacks is going to be helpful, right? Amulet of the Plains. The Amulet of the Plains is a device which enables the individual possessing it to transport himself or herself instantly to or from any one of the upper levels of the outer planes. This travel is absolutely safe, but until the individual learns the device, transport will be random. There's 24 options here, too. Roll a d6, 1 to 3. Do not add 12. 4, 5, 6, add 12 to the d12. Okay. 1 to 24 random results. So they didn't really have available 24-sided dice back in the day when this was written. They didn't have regular polyhedral dice. The platonic solids plus one other back in that day either. But there you go. Sarah asks, what happens if someone gets a hold of your soul? Soul storing amulet. Did it say and I missed it? No, it did not. It says you're in there for 7 days. It does not say. But see, your psyche is in there, right? Your soul is in there. Does it say that it's like you shut down? So if you're hiding your psyche in the amulet and you're still doing everything else that you would normally do. Someone could get it from you, but I imagine since it's your choice to go into the amulet, it would also be your choice to leave it. So if somebody got a hold of it, you could just will your soul back into your body, your psyche back into your body, into your physical form. They would still have the amulet, and you would no longer be protected against mental attacks and stuff. And this is me just surmising because I'm not a person who uses psionics in my D&D games. I've always thought uh, those sort of things were better in science fiction games. I mean, I always thought that always thought. I think first my first experience in some sort of media where there was some sort of a psychic attack or whatever was it the second Planet of the Apes movie with the underground dwellers worshiping the Saturn rocket, and they were able to mentally attack their enemies, force them to fight. There was a whole scene there with Heston and the fellow who starred in the second movie that went looking for Heston. Anyway, all of that stuff always felt more like a science fiction trope to me, so I didn't use it in my medieval fantasy games. So I never had a amulet of life protection snatched in there. But some of these spells, like Magic Jar, um, are not psionic, uh, so they're regular magic spells from the medieval fantasy game without the extension of the psionic. So certainly this is something that could have been used in the games, just never came up in games I played. I'm sure there are, um, and certainly not in games I ran. I'm sure there are plenty of other things in these books that just never happened to come up at tables I was at as a DM or a player. And that's one of them. But if you could will yourself in, I think you could will yourself out. I don't know that you have to be in possession of the amulet when you will yourself out. I would think you have to be in possession of it when you will yourself in, because if, say, you're wearing the amulet, can I enter that amulet with my psyche to protect my psyche? No, I think you're holding it. And it does say the wearer, so you would have to be wearing it to go into it with your psyche. But I don't know that you have to be wearing it. Aren't you, in essence, the possessor of it if you're in it, even if someone else is holding it? So that's the way I would rule it, but your mileage may vary. With the planes, to pop back down there with the 24-sider, you could just roll boom, boom, boom and get these different ones. Notice that a few of them have a chance on two rolls, right? A 1 to 2, Seven Heavens. 3, Twin Paradises. Elysium is 4. Happy Hunting Grounds is 5. Olympus, 6 or 7. Gladsheim, Limbo, Pandemonium, all just 1. The Abyss, 11 or 12. Tartarus. That's the. I love Tartarus. That's a word I use for my own underworld. 13, 14, Hades, Gehenna, 15, 16, and 17, you get the 9 hells. Acheron, Nirvana, Arcadia, all just 1. But Prime Material Plane, 21, 22, 23, 24, you may alternately have the following results on 22, 23, 24, which is Ethereal Plane, Astral Plane, and then the Prime Material Plane, but not actually on, it says Earth. Maybe it should say Earth. I know it's pronounced Earth when you put the O in front of it for Greyhawk's World. But that is not to say whatever your current world is within the prime material plane would be not that if you rolled a 24. To continue, Amulet of Proof Against Detection and Location. This is the inescapable location counterpart. The device wards the wearer against all divination in mental or magical location and or detection. The wearer cannot be detected through clairaudience, clairvoyance, ESP, telepathy, crystal balls, or any other scrying devices. No aura is discernible on the wearer, and predictions cannot be made regarding him or her unless some powerful being is consulted. So that's an interesting caveat at the end, because most divination spells, they suggest, well, some of the lower ones suggest there's a hierarchy to which you are appealing when you're using a divination spell, and perhaps you're getting some low-level functionary when you're using a lesser spell. Um, some god's clerk is the one who deals with auguries, but if you use the highest level divination spells, maybe an avatar of the actual deity deals with that, and only in the most extreme of cases would you actually be able to contact and consult with an actual deity through a divination spell. So it would be a incredibly rare thing that somebody could get around this amulet using some sort of pretty standard divination spell. Also, all of these devices, null and void. So if you're wearing the Amulet of Inescapable Location per above, and you do get detected, and you think it's one of these amulets, you'd have to think a number of things. One, either this is not an amulet, proof against detection and location, or this is an amulet of inescapable location, or maybe it is the good one, but whoever has detected me has access to information directly from a deity, and that's how they found me. But if it happens more than once or several times, at that point you better be thinking this amulet doesn't work, or it's the bad kind. So I'm just gonna chuck it and crush it underfoot, or sell it, because it does have a GP value, as we know from the table from last week. Apparatus of Qualish. Let's go with that one. Inside, oh, did I just skip the, yeah, my bad. When initially found, this item will certainly appear as a large iron barrel. It has a secret catch, which opens a hatch in one end. Inside are 10 levers, or levers. I say levers. 1. Extend legs and tail, retract same. 2. Uncover forward porthole, cover same. 3. Uncover side portholes, cover same. These are opposite ends for the levers. Extend pincers and feelers, retract same. Snap pincers, forward, left, or right movement. Backwards, left, or right. Open eyes with continual light inside. Close eyes. Raise, levitate, sink. open hatch, close hatch. So, a lot of options there. You better know what you're doing because the apparatus moves forward at 3 inches, 30 feet, speed backwards at 6 inches, twice as fast, or 60 feet. The two pincers extend forward 4 feet and snap for 2 to 12 hit points of damage each if they hit a creature. 25% chance, no reduction for armor, but dexterity reduction applies. So you're not attacking an armor class. You use a pincer. It is a 25% chance, assuming you're in your that being pinched is in range. They do get their dexterity adjustment, so you'd have to figure out the percentage of that since they were using 25%. Although you could simply say if you roll a 16 or higher on a d20, the pincer can hit, and then if they have a dexterity adjustment of 1, you could say, all right, well, 17 or higher. The device can operate in waters up to 200 feet deep. It can hold 2 human-sized persons and enough air to operate for 2 to 5 hours at maximum capacity. The apparatus, okay, and there's something else, 2 to 5 hours. What's up with that? How does it have less? If it gets access to air at some point, then it has air for its maximum amount of time, right? So I guess the idea here is it should be able to support a normal person for 5 hours. If you put 2 people, 2.5, perhaps if they are super stressed and breathing heavy, that gets lessened. The apparatus is AC 0 and will take 100 hit points of damage to cause a leak, 200 to stave an aside. When the device is fully operating, the hull appears as something like a giant lobster. The apparatus of Qualish. Always one of those kind of slightly humorous, almost comical magic items that in game is incredibly effective. I do remember a game where where I was playing and someone else had one of these and used it because of its extra speed moving backwards just to get away from a fight rather than helping. So it was kind of, well, you just get a big metal transformer and you're running away and left the rest of us to die. I don't think we actually all died. I know I didn't, but they ran away. And I think we all, as I recall, we all followed suit. I think somebody got chopped down though I cannot remember who it was. I don't know. Early days, arrow of direction. An arrow direction typically appears to be a normal or possibly magic arrow. Its magical properties make it function much as a locate object spell, however, empowering the arrow to show the direction of the desired way. Once per day, the device can be tossed into the air, and it will fall point towards the desired way. And this process can be repeated 7 times during the next 7 turns. So if you wanted to do it every 10 minutes, that might be ideal. Note, the arrow will point only towards requested way location. The requested way location. The request can be only for one of the following: stairway up or down, sloping passage up or down, dungeon exit or entrance, cave, cavern. Requests must be phrased by distance, nearest, farthest, highest, lowest, or by direction, north, south, east, west, etc. So you can say, I am looking for the nearest exit. And over the course of the next hour and 10 minutes, you can toss the arrow, and you'll want to keep moving so that every time you toss it, you get a significant result. You just use it in the same location multiple times. It's just going to point in the same direction. So that doesn't help you a whole lot. In any event, we're through the A's, and we are. Oh, I want to mention back in the day, there's a day, back in the day, when mapping was a prevalent thing for all of playing groups to do, and you could fall down a chute, or you can unknowingly walk down a ramp, a long, undetectable ramp, and be on lower levels and not even know, or get teleported to another part of a dungeon. Something like this was incredibly valuable for that, for getting back out. Because you couldn't live down there forever. Sooner or later, you had to find an exit. And there were some campaigns, I call them campaigns, there were just a number of days or games spent doing nothing but playing within one dungeon as if. And then it was mapping and moving and playing and fighting and searching and puzzling and all of that. And occasionally going back out and restocking on our food and water and ammo, and then right back in. So the town would be treated pretty much like a simple affair of, much like probably a lot of 5th edition players nowadays treat a short rest or a long rest or whatever. It's just a hand wave of a thing so we can get back to what we considered the game, the actual exploration. Uh, Dealing with combat was just a way of getting us back to the exploration. So there you go. Just some little insight into sort of the mental psyche of players back in the day. In any event, we are pushing the time, so we will finish that up. Let me just take that off of there, and I will move that back around and say thank you, everybody, very much. Thank you, Sarah, for the question. I appreciate that. Much appreciated. We'll be gaming this week. I'm looking forward to that. And in the meantime, who else do I have to thank? So many. So many. But let me say, the shows are streamed live on Twitch each Monday at 10 a.m. Central and is then archived on YouTube. Follow, subscribe, give us thumbs up, all of those good things if you would please. It's much appreciated. Thanks to our Patreon supporters, Tom Tullis of Fat Dragon Games, Rick Hershey, Fat Goblin Games, Carlos Slicing of Castle Entertainment, Heath Farndon of the AD&D 20, Dave O'Brien of Quacks Games, and Shane Bradley, DM Extraordinaire. This has been the OK Grognard Show from beautiful Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. Thanks again, and bye-bye.